uh, how you are finalizing a particular table in brief. That means how you are finalizing a particular table means how you are finalizing the data in the particular table with reference to the references between one data item with the other data item. Okay, so whether the data items in a particular table is associated with each other or not, whether the data in a particular table is proper or not, or unassociated data is whether you are kept in a particular table. If the data is not associated with each other, it leads to the redundancy. In order to remove the redundancy, what we require, we need always the data to be associated with each other. Even when associated with each other, we identified a certain rules. Based on the certain rules, we are calling it as a normal forms. If all the data is elementary data, okay, or con-dividable, that means it is not having the composite data, or it is not having multi-value data, we are calling it as first normal form. To identify this particular thing, we are taking the help of the functional dependencies. The functional dependencies are giving us, if you know one data item, you know the other data item. Okay, the association between data items in the particular table. Until unless the data item satisfied one of the functional dependencies in the F closure, then only we can keep. Otherwise, we are splitting that particular table, we are keeping the data in another table. In the second normal form, what we are identifying, all non-key attributes must depend on the key attribute. Okay, so we are identified one of the column is a key. It may be candidate key. We can have a number of candidate keys. Only thing is here, all non-key attributes must depend on the fully depend on the no partial dependencies. It has to fully depend on the key item. It should not contain any transitive dependencies. If you have identified any transitive dependencies, we need to split the table into two tables. When come to the BCNF, we are giving one more restriction. The candidate key must be a super key. Okay. If it is a super key, we are having the highest acceptable form. Definitely it will satisfy all the redundancy elimination. But some keys may not contain, some tables may not contain super keys. That is the reason we identified as a weak entity sets. In case of the weak entity sets, the key item may not be a super key. Then we are given a relaxation. It can be part of any key. It may not be the complete super key. Any column on the right hand side of the particular functional dependency can be part of any candidate key. Okay, right. So those are based on the functional dependencies. But still we are having some dependencies which may not satisfy the functional dependencies. Okay. So if you are identifying, say for example, we identify a small table that shown in the particular slide, a small table given in the this particular slide, where the columns are course, teacher, and book. A course can be taught by any teacher. The teacher can taught any course. Similarly, the course can have any book. The teacher also can opt any book. Need not be dependent on each other. If you are identifying the courses are having the multiple books, there is no functional dependency between a course and book. Similarly, there was no functional dependency between course and teacher. A course can be taught by any teacher. A teacher can taught any course. Similarly, a teacher can prefer any book. There is no functional dependency between any two fields. There is no functional dependency between any two fields, but still we are maintaining the data. Okay, the table generally we refer as CTB table. Okay, so as there is no functional dependencies in this particular case, what you can call this particular thing? A course is having multiple books. A teacher can dot multiple courses. A teacher can prefer multiple books, multiple values. In the previously, we are not prefer the multi-value attributes, but here we are identifying multi-valued for against each and every column. Multi-value, not single value. If you are having for single x, if you are having a single value y, we can call it as a functional dependency. But here for a single value, we are having multiple y values. For single physics, we are having multiple teachers. For single course, we are having multiple books. Okay, such dependencies are called as multi-valued dependencies. Multi-value, not single value. For physics, we are having the teacher green, brown. Okay, and also we are having for the same physics subject. Okay, we are having two different books. Not single. It is not limited to single book. So it is called as multi-valued dependency. Okay, it is called as multi-valued dependency. So even for example, we can identify the CBT relation is in the BCNF. The CBT relation, whatever I shown to you, is in the BCNF normal form also. Why? Because using what is the rules for the BCNF normal form? In the BCNF normal form, if the right hand side, whatever the column you are using, it is also part of the left hand side, the key value, we can call it as a trivial functional dependencies. If the table is containing the trivial functional dependencies, it can be acceptable as under BCNF. What is the key here? You have to take the combination of all columns, course, teacher, book together as a key should be placed on the left hand side. Otherwise, you can't get the unique values. So as all three values on the left hand side, if you want to take on the right hand side any further functional dependency, automatically the right hand side, say for example, course, teacher, book is on the left hand side. On the right hand side, you can keep book or teacher or course. So automatically it becomes trivial functional dependency. Functional dependency ga mana teeskovali ani anukunte, functional dependencies mana evana teeskovali ani anukunte, ఈ టేబుల్లో ఉన్న కాలమ్స్ అన్ని కన్సిడర్ చేస్తే లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ కన్సిడర్ చేస్తే కానీ కీ క్రియేట్ అవ్వదు. ఈ మూడు లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ ఉంటే ఆటోమేటిక్గా రైట్ సైడ్ డూప్లికేట్ కాలమే ఉంటుంది. సో ఆటోమేటికల్గా ఇది ట్రైవియల్ ఫంక్షనల్ డిపెండెన్సీ అయిపోతుంది. ఆల్ ట్రైవియల్ ఫంక్షనల్ డిపెండెన్సీస్ కెన్ బి యాక్సెప్టబుల్ ఇన్ ద BCNF. ఓకే, రైట్. So the thing is, we can't decompose further if you look only functional dependencies, only CTB, this particular table. Because until unless we are combining all these things, you can't get a key and you can't keep in a particular table. But there is a lot of redundancy. If you are identifying only course and teachers for the same course physics, the same teacher green is repeated twice. Okay, for the same course, same teacher brown repeated twice. So the same course maths 301, we are having the same teacher repeated thrice. It is nothing but repetition only. Okay. Similarly, even for the physics 101 book, the optics book is repeated twice. Mechanics book is repeated twice. Okay. It is also repetition only. This repetition is nothing but redundancy. What is the problem here? Until unless you are considering all the three columns, you can't get a unique row. You can't get unique row. So automatically key becoming all rows in the table, all columns in the table. When you are considering the all columns in the table for uniqueness among the rows, if you are considering all rows, 101 green mathematics, only one table. Okay. Even that when you are identifying, if you are getting another row, either you are replacing the teacher green with brown or mechanics with optics. Okay. So if you want unique rows, you need all rows. But if you are getting the all rows, you are getting the redundancy. Okay, right. So this is the problem in this particular table. We call it as a multi-valued redundancy. But redundancy can be eliminated by decomposing the table into two tables, CT and BT. The table can be eliminated into two, CT and BT. So what is the problem here? For a set of values, you are unable to identify functional dependencies. For a set of values, say for example, even a physics and a green, you are not having the single book, you are having multiple books. Even for the combination of course and books, you are getting the multiple teachers. Okay, for any combination, we are getting the multiple options, multi-values. Okay, you are unable to identify the functional dependency. If you are taking the functional dependency, you have to consider all columns in the particular table, that you are calling it as a multi-value dependency. But the redundancy present in the particular table, our primary goal is to eliminate the redundancy. If we want to eliminate the redundancy, you need to divide this particular table into two tables. Now, okay, as CT and CB, one column, one common column in the two tables. You can take anything, but generally you can take course and teacher is one column, teacher and book another column. Okay, right. So this constant, whatever we identified, once again, if for a particular set of values, if you are having multiple values, you call it as a multi-value dependency. You call it as a multi-value dependency. The redundancy in this particular table is due to constraint that textbooks for the course are independent of the instructors, which cannot express in terms of functional dependencies. Some dependencies we can't express in terms of functional dependencies. Okay, we are having the multiple values independent of values. In such case, we are calling it as a multi-value dependencies. If you want to eliminate the redundancies, you can identify a binary relationships with CT and CP. Okay, right. So this type of redundancy, this type of relationship, we are calling it as a multi-value dependency. We are calling it as a multi-value dependencies. Then how we are representing the multi-value dependencies? The functional dependencies we are represented with single arrow. If you are representing single arrow, x derives y. Say for every x value, you are having a unique y value. When come to the multi-value dependency, you represent it with the two arrows. You represent with the two arrows. The double arrow is representing, okay, if as the multi-value dependency, in simple, you can say for every x value, there is a set of y values. For each x value, there is a set of y values. Okay, the x can be a single attribute or set of attributes. Similarly, y is also single attribute or set of attributes. But it is saying for every x, there is multiple y values. Okay, it indicates if the for any relation R, or any illegal instance of smaller of capital relation R, X is associated with a set of Y values. X is associated with set of values, previously single value. Whereas here, X value is associated with set of values, and for a single X value, you are having multiple Y values, set of Y values. Okay, right. Where we can identify in one more way, if you are having the XYZ, if you divide the number of columns into XYZ, where you are representing XY in the multi-value dependency, for every X value, there is a set of values, Y values. For the remaining attributes, okay, you are having a set of X attributes, set of Y attributes. Okay, need not the all values comes under X and Y only. It can have other values also. So let me say all the remaining variables are, because in the previous also CBT, okay, or CTB, let X is course, let Y is teacher. We are having book is other value, X Z value, Z value. We are having a simple relationship also. If you know X and Y values, if you are eliminating, if you are removing all the remaining values, okay, from R remaining values means R minus XY, you are eliminating from R all X attributes, Y attributes, automatically you call the remaining as Z attributes. Okay, Z attributes, X, Y, Z. If you are having X multi-valued dependency on Y, X multi-value dependency on Y, for every X value, if you are having set of Y values, what it indicates, if you are having a T1 is an element of this relation instance R. Similarly, T2 is also a relation instance of R. Okay, and also we are having now, previously in the functional dependencies, we are considering only T1 and T2. If the T1 X equal to T2X, then we are saying T1Y nothing but T2Y. But here we are considering T3 also. If in the T1 and T3, say for example, even T2 also no problem, T1 and T3, if XY values are same in the tuple T1 and tuple T3, okay, if the tuple T1 and tuple T3 XY values are same, remove either X1 or Y, leave the X1, T1 or T3, take other tuple T2, other value tuple T2, in the remaining attribute T2, Z value is going to equal, either in the T1's Z or T3 Z, not both. Okay, the T2's remaining values definitely equal to either T1Z or T2TZ, but not same, either not same between T1 and T3. If T1 and T3 Z value is same, you can have to say T1 and T3 are duplicate tuples. So it eliminates the duplicate tuples. The Z value is going to be Z value of either T1 or T3 is going to equal with the some other tuple T2. Be careful. That is going to be a relation in the multi-value dependency. Okay. So for example, the same whatever I told you here, if you are having the T1, T2, T3, T4, okay, if some values are equal between T1 and T2, say for example, the X, Y values A1, B1 are equal. Definitely Z value can't be same. Definitely Z value can't be same. But the z value can be equal to some other z value in some other tuple. That is in the T2 and T3 z values are same. Our T1 z value is same with the T4 z value. Not this between these two. Ante xy values ఒక కాంబినేషన్ లో సేమ్ ఉంటాయి, ఇంకొక కాంబినేషన్ లో z values సేమ్ ఉంటాయి. అదే టేబుల్లో ఆ టూపుల్స్ లో కాదు కానీ మరి అదర్ టూపుల్స్ లో z values కూడా సేమ్ ఉంటాయి. కొన్ని టూపుల్స్ లో x values సేమ్ ఉంటే కొన్ని టూపుల్స్ లో z values సేమ్ ఉంటాయి. సింపుల్ గా చెప్పాలంటే ఓకే. But all xyz can't be same. If all xyz values are same, it is a duplicate row. Here some xy values are same, in some other columns z values are same. Okay, that is the meaning of multi-value dependency. That is the meaning of multi-value dependency. Okay, x value ki multiple z values వస్తున్నాయి, ఒక x values ki multiple y values వస్తున్నాయి. But ఆ combination లో కూడా we are having some relation. Okay, right. So three of the additional rules can be like F closure for the functional dependencies. You can also identify complementation rules, augmentation rule, transitivity rule, okay, in the multi-value dependency. Okay, so complementary rule like for the z attribute whatever I explained now, that is called as complementation rule. If x derives are, if x y are in the rule, okay, x is derives r minus xy. Okay, you can create one more rule for the z. Clear? Right. Similarly for augmentation rule, if you are having a particular rule, x derives y, y derives z. Okay, if you want the multi-value dependencies, you can add also. You can add those things into single rule also. That we call it as the augmentation rule. Similarly, transitive rule, x derives multi-values of y, y derives multi-values of z, whatever our example. Okay, then you can say x derives z minus y. Okay, right. Based on the multi-value dependency, you are having a normalization form. If in the particular table multi-value dependency is there, if in a particular table if you are having multi-value dependency, okay, that particular normal form we call it as a fourth normal form. Okay, we call it as a fourth normal form. So the fourth normal form is what it says: if for every multi-value dependency x multi-value derived by, if that holds on R, if multi-value dependencies holds on R, one of the following statements is true. Okay, that x or y z value equal to either x or xy value is equal to R. Okay, or x is a super key. Multi-value transitivity, the thing is xyz, xyz. If you know the x value, x derives by t1 and t2, if you are having xy values are same, what I told you, the z value in the t1 and t3 or t2 and t3, t2 or t1 will be same. That I demonstrated with the help of that z value, that is deriving here. If you derive x from x, you are deriving y, from y you are deriving z. We want only z attributes, remaining attributes. When come to the remaining attributes, we are eliminating all the y attribute. If any columns are there in the y, we are remaining that y attributes from the z and identifying all other attributes. Then all other attributes will hold on the x or y. That is the meaning of transitivity. X value, y value, other values. Okay, in the other attributes, it should not contain any y attributes. That is the reason we eliminated. If from a z attribute, if any y columns are there, we are removing that particular thing. Then we are saying x multi-value derives Z also, like the previous tables. Okay, course, teacher, and book. You identify X, okay, from the teacher, X to multi-value derives teacher. If it is a value, you are identifying from the other attributes, not only book, it can be anything also. Okay, you are identifying, you are removing any attributes which may be the part of the Y, and we are saying course multi-value depends book also. Course multi-valued book also, because you are identified multi-value dependency between course and teacher, teacher and book also. Hence, we are identifying course and book also. Course and book also. But eliminated the duplicate values. So in the fourth normal form, if you are having any functional dependencies, it is part of this R. If there's X or Y are part of the R, then you are identifying X. You can identify the whole columns as X because you identified until unless you consider all values, until unless you consider all values, you can't identify the key. That is the reason X is equal to R. The R is relation. X is equal to R means all columns you identified as X, or you divided the columns into some columns as X, some columns as Y. By adding all these columns as is equal to R, or X is a super key. Okay, then you can identify. There is no specific functional dependency here. Like that is the reason you are divided the particular table into two tables. The particular table into course, teacher for identifying a super key. Okay, then you are identifying this course and book as another table, so that you can eliminate redundancies. Clear? That is called as fourth normal form. So simply say fourth normal form when you can say if the table is having the multi-value dependency, you are unable to identify simple functional dependencies. Okay, right. So the X derives Y is the trivial functional dependencies. Generally, if you are identifying it as a whole, that particular X value. Okay, CBT is not in the fourth normal form. That is the reason you divided into the two tables, CTB into CT and BT tables. CTB is CBTB into CT and B tables. Okay, I want to explain a small other one, join dependencies. We are having other type of dependencies called as join dependency. What this join dependency is saying is, okay, even you are having the multi-value dependency that is represented with the X multi-value dependency Y over a relation. Okay, this can be also be represented as, because you divided this particular table into XY attributes into one table, and you are eliminated from the all Y attributes, all for whatever the other attribute you joined with X and as other table, XY into one table, except Y value and X value, all other values you are identifying as other table. Okay, if you join these particular tables, say for example you divided this into the two tables. Okay, the two tables are representing R1, R2. Similarly, if you are having more number of tables, you can say Rn also. But sometimes what you are identifying, whenever you are divided into a particular multiple tables, you are identifying whether it is lossless join or not. Then what we are doing, we are combining all those particular table into single table. We are joining all those tables into single table. Okay, there you are using the natural join or other joins. Okay, the particular dependency, whatever if you are joining these two tables CT and CB together back into CTB, you have to get our original CTB table. You need to get back our CTB table. Okay, what happens if you are not getting our original CTB table? then automatically it leads to lossy join. Automatically it leads to the lossy join. Okay. So the join dependencies, what it is saying is, when you are dividing into the table CTB table into CT and BT table, we need to check back. Or joining these two tables, if you are getting our original CTB table, then you can say it is a join dependency. If you are not getting back lossy join, once again there is a join dependency. It is violated the join dependency. So whenever we are splitting this particular table, the multi-value dependencies, whenever you are identifying, whenever you are splitting into the tables in order to identify a super key or functional dependency on the multi-value dependency columns, and to basically to eliminate redundancy, whether we are getting back our original table or not. Okay. So unlike these functional dependencies, because multi-value dependencies, unlike first functional dependencies, multi-value dependencies, there is no set of sound and complete inference rules. Be careful. Okay. So there is no set of rules for the join dependencies, inference rules, but the only thing we want is, if you join back this CT and CB, we need to get back CTB. That is called as the join dependency. We need to identify the join dependencies. Accordingly, you need to split the table. There is no specific rules. Okay, that is the reason practically we are, until unless required the multi-value dependency or join dependency, we are not using. Okay, so if the relation is containing the join dependency rules, okay, that means if you are after joining the splitting table, if you are not getting the original table, then you need to reconsider and you need to resplit the particular table. Okay, such combination we are calling it as it is satisfying the join dependency, that means getting back our original table, it is called as fifth normal form. Okay, so the join dependency is implied. Okay, even the RI sometimes, like in the previously, as I told you, all columns becomes only one particular table. All columns together becomes only if you are getting the key value. If you are divided R, you can divide into R1 to Rn. At the same time, you can identify one of the RI can be our original table also, complete values also. Okay, the join dependency is implied by the set of those functional dependencies over R, in which left side is a key for R. Okay, you are dividing the table into you are identifying into the number of functional dependencies to get back the original relation join dependency. The only thing is left side should be a key attribute. Okay, right. So finally, the key dependencies are identifying here, that we are identifying the key dependencies for the join dependencies, because left side must be a key. If you are joining all those things, you need to get back our original table. You are also calling it as a key dependencies. The key dependencies are nothing but functional dependencies in the left side of the R. The only thing is, when you are joining back all these, the R1 to Rn, ultimately it is going to become a trivial functional dependency. Okay, if it is having the trivial functional dependency, the join dependency always hold. Otherwise, it may not hold. Okay, so if a relation schema is in third normal form, each of the key consists of the single attribute. If the relation is third normal form, okay, third normal form. If the left hand side is always